Welcome to Your Time to Thrive with personal fitness coach Jason Stevenson.
Hey, friends. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Your Time to Thrive podcast. I'm your host, Jason. Today, we're talking about comfort or discomfort based on the topic and the situation at hand, how you address it, how you handle it, and whether you're letting it help you or hurt you. Today, I'm joined by my amazing friend, producer, extraordinaire, fantastic podcast producer, guy that loves to eat oatmeal.
Yeah.
I blanked there for a second.
Say my name. Say my name. It's an audio show.
Benjamin Barber.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Sorry, it's been a long morning. Lots of conversations and the brain just stopped.
Megan comments and
Nice.
says, "Hi, I am in an event today online, but we'll watch later. Comfort versus discomfort is a great topic." Megan, are you in an online event today, or you're in it?
She's probably running it.
What?
She's managing. That's one of her jobs, is to manage them, help them go off smoothly.
For
Because it would
online
be
events?
on-site. Yeah, it would be for on-site stuff that she's usually doing. But a lot of their events have become online given the current situations.
Megan, let's talk about this more while I eat oatmeal on camera. Jason, describe what the episode is while I eat some oatmeal.
Well, folks, frankly, this comes up a lot in my world as a personal trainer. Most people aren't very comfortable in the gym. They're not very comfortable doing what they're doing. Let's be honest. Exercising is a pretty uncomfortable experience. You're sweaty. You're making efforts. Your heart rate is elevated. Your breathing is harder. So why do we do it? What keeps us going back to it? And the truth is, we do it because it's good for us. But oftentimes in our lives, in our world, in our real life, we actually fight that. And then we step back from things. We avoid things. We don't do things. We don't talk about things. We don't address topics. We don't bring up subjects. We generally try to avoid discomfort. The question is that helping us? Because remember, we've always talked about these maintainable, repeatable habits. What are the ones that are helping us? What are the ones that are getting us closer to our goals, getting us closer to our better life, right? Your true self, the one that really believes in who you really are, the one that you are capable of becoming and that is on the inside of all of us, is not afraid of discomfort. The person that you want to be, that wants to be stronger, that wants to be healthier, that wants to be fitter, that may have fitness goals, doesn't really pay attention to that comfort level. We go to the gym, we work hard, and we sweat. Or we do something physical to achieve those goals. So why is it that psychologically and socially we step back from that discomfort so quickly when many of us are willing to step into the discomfort willingly to achieve the fitness goals? And I come up against this a lot because trying to get people to stay focused on why they do certain things is really the reason that they should be doing them, right? We don't go out for a run because you like to run. We don't go to the gym because we like to go to the gym necessarily. In fact, most people that go to the gym, and this is an urban myth that I'm going to dispel right now, most people that work out, that go to the gym, don't really like that experience.
What?
Most people. Thank you, Peanut Gallery. Right?
There were peanuts in the oatmeal.
That's good.
Yes. So wait. So people that go to the gym don't like going to the gym? That's insane. That's madness. What are you talking about, Jason?
Well, they might like the results, right?
Mm-hmm.
They might like what they get out of it, but they don't like the whole process of working hard and sweating, doing sled pushes or kettlebell swings or running on a treadmill, but they like the results. Or the other population percentage is the ones that just love the feeling when they're done, that sense of accomplishment, that sense of achievement, that sense of strength, that sense of empowerment, that sense of shit, I'm done. Just checking the box and saying, all right, I really didn't want to do this, but I did it. And now I feel great is huge. It's huge. And it means that you still did it.
Nothing is better than that feeling of getting back in your car, exhausted, and feeling the sense of accomplishment that you like just kicked your own ass. It's and like achieved something.
Yeah.
But it hurts, and not like a dull hurt, but it you feel it, and you sit in your car and you're like exhausted, and like the days when I was like, okay, put this on the steering wheel to drive, put the hand up, like grab one hand and lift it up to help the other. Like those were the best days of that, even though it was like crazy and tiring, like that sense of accomplishment was so nice.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Because you did it. You didn't listen to the little voice in the back of your head that said, this is hard, this sucks, this is tiring, I'm sweaty, I'm uncomfortable. You just did it. Right? That's the other percentages, right? The pieces of the puzzle are the discrepancy between I love to do it, I love the results, I love feeling accomplished afterwards. So the vast majority of people that work out like that feeling afterwards. They like what they feel when they've accomplished something, that they've done something that was challenging, that they didn't think that they could do, or that they won that battle in their head and they pushed themselves through it. There is not one single workout that I have ever done in my entire life that at some point during the workout, I questioned myself in it. I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? This is hard. We've got 2 more sets of this. Or you rack a bar on your shoulders and you step back and you're like, shit, that's heavy. Now I'm going to squat with this. There isn't one single workout. And I like to work out. I actually enjoy working out because I like the feeling afterwards. I like the results, but I actually like finding what my body is capable of, feeling the strength, thinking like, I can do this. And then, squat and then come up and you're like, yeah, I can do this. Shit, I don't want to, but no, I can do this. So there's always that game, right? We always talk about that inner monologue, that demon voice or that child voice that you're having that conversation with. The choice is what kind of conversation you're having, right? Are we letting that child decide for us? Are we letting our negative side speak for us? Are we letting that be the voice that you then act out upon or then share with the world? Or are you acknowledging it because we have those sides, we have those thoughts, acknowledge it and then decide, no, I'm better than that. I'm stronger than that. Or no, I know how I'm going to feel when I'm done. I'm just going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Our gym is located in the basement. It's below street level. And I tell people all the time that coming down the steps is the hardest part of the workout. Because mentally making the choice to open that door and walk down the steps, you're committing. I'm going to do something that's not going to be easy. I'm going to do something that's not going to be comfortable. But I'm going to do it anyway.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's such an amazing thing to see that so many people do choose to do that. And I commend them. Like, Ben, I'm so proud of you, man. I see your videos about your walks in the morning. And I know, because trust me, as a guy that gets up before the sun comes up a lot of days, I like to sleep in. I would love to. I know that it's a choice. And you're not getting up to do that because somebody else is waiting for you. I have the benefit 5 days a week. I know somebody else is waiting for me. So there's not a question in my mind whether or not I'm going to get up and go. But you're personally choosing to get your ass out of bed and go outside and walk. And it's a conscious effort.
Yeah, and it's not always something that gets made the same. It rarely gets made the same way 2 days in a row. Like, I went through a little spell for the last 2 weeks before this week where I was busy. The first week I had several events that were early in the morning that were not even in town, like they weren't like events that I was doing at my house. So, but ironically, one of the days when I had to leave the house before 6:30, I got my walk in that day. The next day, however, like I was so exhausted that I didn't. And I had an early morning for something else. And then the following week, and so like I was getting my walk in those days, but it was like early afternoon or like late morning, like 11 a.m. And in the summer, there is such a big difference between walking at 7:30 in the morning and walking at 11:30 in the morning.
Oh my God.
Like a 20 degrees difference and humidity difference that will knock you on your ass. And I was like, this sucks. And then the next week, we had family come stay with us for a couple days.
Yeah.
And we stayed up every night, and it completely screwed with my willpower to get up in the morning and like wanting to sleep in. And I didn't do it like all 6 or 7 days of the week like I have been for 2 weeks, and missed a couple days completely, and did shorter walks because there was a walk where I started the walk and then I got halfway through it and I got a phone call that the pest control guy was on his way, so I had to turn around and come back, and like so on and so forth. And like, so it's uncomfortable. There's a level of discomfort of getting up early and putting your shoes on and getting out of bed and going. I put my shoes on outside of bed, but getting out of bed, putting your shoes on, getting out the door and going. And there's a level of discomfort to that, and there's a level of comfort to staying in your bed longer. There's a level of comfort to not doing the thing that's difficult. But in the long run, and even in the long run, in that 2-week period, the cumulative effect of not doing that every morning built up to the point where, like the last couple of days of those 2 weeks before this Monday, I felt terrible. And it was a little bit mental. It was a lot physical. Like I felt sluggish. It felt hard to get going. Leaning into the comfort and not having any of the discomfort made it so that there was no comfort anymore. Like there was no time when it felt good, like, you know. And like thankfully, knock on wood, like my anxiety didn't pop back in really very much at all. A little bit maybe here and there, but not anything that I would consider like worrisome. But like, you know, you kind of get addicted to not feeling like shit every day. That's the, like, you know, just to say it honestly, like you kind of get like feeling good feels good. So like you want to do it more. And that's like the cool thing about it, is that putting yourself through a little bit of discomfort, which I guess is like what exercise is anyway, right? Like lifting weights is like putting stress on your muscles so that they tear a little bit and then rebuild. Am I right or wrong on that?
Correct.
I don't know.
That's exact science.
So it's exact. I've never said anything that was exact science, Jason. So, but that's what it is. You know what I mean? So like it's a thing in your head where you're like, ooh, it would be way more comfortable to not lift these weights today. It would be way more comfortable to not go to the gym. It would be way more comfortable to sleep in today. It would be way more comfortable to go to McDonald's instead of making myself a salad for lunch at home, or grilling something, or like, you know, roasting some goddamn sweet potatoes that you asked for from Stop and Shop order. I got to roast some sweet potatoes later today.
Good.
So anyway, like, yeah, it fucking sucks though when you when you lean into the comfort for too long. Vacations are great, all of that stuff is great. But like when you lean into the comfort for too long, or you do it in lieu of doing something that you're supposed to do, then mentally that piles on you. Like it's not worth it. It's not worth it. You got to find that balance of like living in the discomfort and being comfortable being uncomfortable.
That's beautiful. I love the concept of this. We've talked a little bit about this in the past. And what you just said is really the whole point of today's podcast, because you've gotten on the other side of that, right? Like you said, like you felt the difference having done better, right? Like having been through the experience of going on the regular walks and feeling better. And then when you didn't and you realized how that felt, the disparity there, the difference is what we should be avoiding, right? But unfortunately, and I'm going to speak in general terms here because I know the audience is broad and our culture is broad. Most people are living a life of discomfort and they don't know better. They don't know that it can be better. I've joked about this for years, but the truth is, as a personal trainer, it's really hard to hand out business cards. How do you hand a business card for a personal training business to somebody and politely say, it can be better?
Yeah.
I can help.
Yeah.
Without somebody's immediate ego response, their immediate discomfort in the reality of that conversation taking over.
Yep.
I honestly, in the 15 years I've been working as a personal trainer, I've never actually approached somebody and handed them a business card, because and trust me, I talk to people all the time. I don't know how to say it.
Yep.
But the truth is, I think it all the time, because once you have made an effort, once you have started to make better food choices, once you have started to get better sleep, once you have started to move a little bit, it does get better. And that discomfort of making those hard choices, the discomfort of choosing to go exercise, the discomfort of prioritizing your health over your laziness and comfort, basically, that takes steps, that takes time. But it's remarkable what you will achieve with consistency.
I think that we said this on the podcast before, and it's not a new term, but choose your hard. Like there's always going to be something that's hard, there's always going to be something that's uncomfortable, but like, you know, like the example that I said a minute ago, you know, what's more uncomfortable? Getting up and being active for 30 to 45 minutes and, you know, like putting your body through a little bit of discomfort and putting your mind through a little bit of discomfort by, you know, working hard at something, and then being able to feel better about it for the rest of the time that isn't those 45 minutes a day, or leaning into the comfort in contrast to that, but then being in a place where you're constantly uncomfortable, that like just being you, like you're constantly uncomfortable, like, you know, getting up off the floor playing with your kids, or you're uncomfortable like going to the beach, or you're uncomfortable going to dinner with other people. Like what is the discomfort that you're choosing? I think is a powerful thought process there.
Huge, right? Because it means recognizing that our choices have an impact on our lives and that we have choice over that choice, right? That we have control over that. And it's why when people start talking to me initially, you know, about coming to the gym, I always try to dig deeper in that goal set. We've touched on that before. Like, don't tell me that you just want to lose 10 pounds, right? Like, what else? Don't tell me you want to get into a tighter belt size, you know, a smaller belt size. Like, what else? Like, what's the real reason here, right? Were you uncomfortable at the beach last summer and that sucked? Well, it's because you made comfortable choices all winter. right? Were you uncomfortable at the wedding because your suit was tight? Well, that's because you made comfortable choices before that.
Mm-hmm.
And we've created that, right? Like our society, that with a world of conveniences and fast food. And I mean, here's one of my favorites. You've seen Wall-E, right? The movie Wall-E.
I have not.
Oh, Ben.
I'm a
So
terrible person.
kids movie, totally appropriate for the little dude. Great
He
movie.
has seen it, I'm pretty
Oh,
sure.
see, there we go. Well, then
Yeah,
he can
no,
talk to you about it probably.
I mean, Dave saw it like in theaters, and I think I was sick or something. But no, I've never seen Wall-E. Anyway, moving on. Get to your point. I'm sorry.
It's a great movie. It's a great cartoon. It's a love story between two robots, basically. But the underlying story is the horror story to me. Honestly, the underlying story is it's a future planet. It's our future Earth, and we have destroyed it. We've covered it with trash, and we've totally destroyed all its resources. And our entire civilization lives on a gigantic cruise ship that flies around the universe, and everybody is in floating lazy boys with the multitude of screens in front of them. And they 3 times a day, the bell goes off, and they have a shake that pops up out of their chair, and they drink out of it. Nobody walks, nobody moves, nobody works. It's all robotic and animated, and everybody lives in an easy chair, literally, with screens of feedback and information and commercials and games and TVs. And it is a satirical horror movie about where we're going with our society, because we have made our chairs and our lazy boys and our cars all the same thing. You can literally sit in your house and order liquor, order food, order clothing. You don't even have to leave your lazy boy to have that stuff delivered, because now they do touchless drop-offs, and you don't even have to talk to somebody that drops off food at your house. And we're going there. We're going there quickly. And when I watched that movie, I thought it was a great movie, heartwarming and everything. But the pretense, that like concept of where we could be very quickly, and we already are to some degree. I mean, how many people have a car that they eat at least one meal a day in? They drive around in their car and just sit in their car and eat because it's fast food.
Well, I mean, I'm not usually in my car anymore, but yeah.
The last time I went to a Dunkin' Donuts, I thought about this as I drove out. There was, you got the pickup window, and then you drive past, and then there's a trash can on your way out of the pickup window, which it's not because you're going to throw out what you just purchased. There's no way in that 10 feet between when you picked up and when you pulled out, do you have any trash to get rid of? It's because people are discarding their previously consumed trash meals. Like they're getting rid of the coffee cup that they had there from breakfast. Now they're getting rid of that. They're getting rid of the breakfast bag that they had before. Now we're getting rid of that. Mm-hmm. We've created the opportunities in our society for people to lean into the comfort of being lazy. And it's I know it doesn't sound nice, folks. I know it's not sugar-coated. I know it's not a trainer being nice and saying, you're doing really good. The truth is, if we choose to be lazy, if we choose the comfort, if we choose the easy way out, it actually gets harder. It actually creates more discomfort in your life. You create more healthcare problems. You create more physical capacity problems in your life. You create more costs in your life. It just gets harder. And like you said, Ben, the hard part is you have to have chosen discomfort enough that it gets easier for you to see that.
Yeah. One of the things that you talked about before was consistency. And I think that that's true. Like the more that you do the thing that makes you uncomfortable, the easier it becomes. And here's a great example of that everybody can see that's watching this right now. And if you're listening to it, I don't know, man, go to the Thrive Facebook page and look at it. I wore a hat all morning for my, and my hair is ridiculous right now. And I don't care. Like I don't like I would normally have like run to the bathroom and like put water in it and like and or thrown my hat back on or whatever. My camera angle isn't perfect right now. It could be higher and better and whatever. I was eating like a soupy oatmeal when we started the show because I was like, I'll put more liquid in it so I can just drink it, and that'll be less obnoxious because I'm in a hurry. And then I was like, oh no, I didn't put enough in it, so it's not drinkable, but it's also like not as easy to eat with a spoon real quick. So it's terrible. But I was like, yeah, screw it. Let's just start the show. We're on a time crunch.
Good.
But I've done so many things on camera recently where I've been fine with being uncomfortable with whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's the I've and it's been bothering me this week. Like specifically I need to shave, like I need to trim my beard and I need a haircut because I'm I am very much aware, like, because I check, like, I'm losing weight right now, but I don't look great at the moment on camera compared to like what I did like 2 weeks ago because my hair is longer and a mess and my beard is longer and a mess and the camera angle isn't what it was 2 weeks ago. But like, I don't give a shit at the moment because I'm just
Good.
talking to Jay and like it is what it is. And but like that's an uncomfortable thing that is an external thing that is just an example of like of everything else that we've been talking about, like the consistency of doing it right. So like I've had to be on shows, live shows, podcasts for the last few days, and I have not been able to go get a haircut, like, and that just is what it is. And like I have not taken the time to trim this thing, which gets like hairy around the sides. And like, and it's good. It's good. It's good for me to like live in this little bit of uncomfortableness and not be so fixated on being perfect, or as perfect as I can be. And like, it's good to go for a walk when you don't feel like it. And it's not like your best time, or you didn't like, you know, you didn't like really go hard at it and your heart rate didn't get up for as many minutes as it did every time before. Or like, you went to the gym and you kind of like went through the motions. That's okay to do it like a little bit. Your best is different every day, but
Yes.
but living in that little space of being uncomfortable is better than the alternative.
Well, it's really, what does it teach you? What does it show you? Right. So what does it help you understand? Right. When we seek that comfort and we just get to the side where it's easier or it's lazier or it doesn't scare us or it doesn't make us uncomfortable, that doesn't teach you anything. You don't grow from it. And the truth is, it's about our focus with it, right? So if all I'm doing is focusing on it and saying, this sucks, this is heavy, this is going to be hard to do, I'm going to be sweaty, I'm going to be uncomfortable, I'm going to have to chop vegetables, I'm going to have to wait for that in the oven, then you're focusing on something that's frankly pretty meaningless in the grand scheme of things, but you're mostly focusing on what is not important.
Absolutely.
Says the man with the hat.
Absolutely. I put my hat back on and I changed my camera angle to where it used to be, and now I feel better.
See, it was that easy. It was that easy. But if you get stuck in that discomfort and then that's what you're paying attention to, this makes me uncomfortable, then you're not getting what you could get out of it. Because the truth is, it just is. We've got bird feeders off of our back deck here, and they're very happy little birds and very popular little bird feeders that make our afternoons and brunch sitting here watching the birds, or come home and you can see the birds. It's pretty cool. The last snowfall that we had, I was watching, and we had pretty high winds. Snow was coming down pretty heavy at times. And I'll tell you, those bird feeders are pretty busy. Those birds were out. Yesterday, when we had that torrential downpour that broke through, I was cooking dinner. There was birds out. They were eating. They weren't sitting at home complaining about the weather. They weren't sitting at home going, I don't want to get wet. It just was raining. They just got wet. They had to eat, though. So they came out, they ate, they took seed back to their home, fluffed their feathers a little bit, and move on with their life. The reality is that anything in nature that you observe in its true habitat just does that. Whenever we scuba dive, fish swim around you. Like you can literally part a school of fish where you'll swim over them and they don't even blink. It just is. They're not freaking out. They're not running. They're not yelling at you. They're not stressing. You don't see anything shivering and just dying because they're scared. They just swim away. There's something big making bubbles. I don't know what that is. I'm just going to move away. They're not focused on it. We spend so much time focused on things that make us uncomfortable that we don't have an opportunity to enjoy what we could get from that discomfort. Because we're seeking the comfort. There's a theory about that, actually. As we've evolved, we used to be uncomfortable to survive. Being uncomfortable made us hungry, if we were hungry, we were uncomfortable, we went and found food. If you were in danger, you were uncomfortable, you ran, you stayed alive. So the stress triggers and the way that our body responds to discomfort triggered action, not emotional mental focus on that. If your entire life is spent providing yourself shelter and food, then that discomfort will trigger action instead of emotional time. I find it very hard to believe that there was a lot of Neanderthals working as psychiatrists dealing with their fellow Neanderthals having anxiety disorders. They probably worried about survival, worried about living, So now as our lives have evolved and we've become more technologically dependent and supplied, I guess is a way to say it, our brains don't have much to be uncomfortable about in real life, because while there's a large population of our world that is still seeking shelter and food, a lot of people out there right now don't have to worry too much about that. So their brain doesn't have to spend a lot of energy being uncomfortable about that. So it literally creates stress. If your body is not uncomfortable and your brain is telling you to shut the fuck up about it and move on with life and get through it and just survive it, then your brain is going to create something to be stressed about. It's going to create something to be uncomfortable about. I'm worried about what people think of me in the gym. I'm worried about what people think of me on the beach. I'm worried about not feeling comfortable at that dance or at that wedding. Those are fake stressors. They're not real. Your emotions are real, but the stress about them is not, because the reality isn't there. It's just something that you came up with because your animal brain is used to dealing with stress in a way of surviving. And because most of our life doesn't have real stress in it, we've created stressors. So the solution is to put yourself in something that's physically uncomfortable, that's good for you. Remember, that's the key note here, folks. I'm not talking about masochistic actions here, where you need to put your body in a physical stress situation. Run so that your heart rate is elevated a little bit. Pick up something heavy. Do something that's hard to do physically. And I promise you, you're not going to have anxiety while you're working out. I promise you that if you come to my class, reach out to me, and I will train you for free for an hour. And it'll be the best therapy session you've ever had in your entire life, because that entire hour that you're working out with me, you're not going to be worried about how you look in the mirror. You're not going to be worried about what other people think of you on the beach. You're just going to be worried about keeping your breath under control and focusing on your body. Fitness is the best meditation there is. That's why yoga has been practiced for thousands of years and by millions of people around the world. Because while you're trying to hold a particular position and control your breathing, it is damn hard to think about anything else. I'm not worried about my hair falling out while I'm holding a position. I'm not worried about building love handles as I get older or the gray hairs in my facial hair while I'm doing deadlifts. Deadlift 315 pounds and tell me you're worried about your gray hair. You're not lifting enough. If you go outside and take a run hard as you can for as long as you can, and then walk until you catch your breath, and then run again, and you tell me that you're still worried about how your bikini is going to look on Saturday, you're not running hard enough. You got to get comfortable being a little uncomfortable physically to get further, to get better, for this to change for you. And no, it's not going to be easy. Making the right choices with your food, picking the salad over the French fries, doing your own food prep at home. It's not easy. It takes more time. Trust me, I would much rather order food than make food all the time. And I love to cook. But I know the way that I feel when I eat the food that I cook. I know how I feel when I go out tonight and pick salad greens out of my garden and make salad for dinner for my wife and I. I know how I'm going to feel after I eat that. That's going to be one of the best meals that I've had in months because we actually can pull stuff from our garden right now. And it's so much easier to go to a store and just buy a pre-made bag of salad. Trust me when I tell you, the digging in the garden, putting the soaker hoses in, weeding, setting that whole thing up, and then taking time out there to care for the garden, that's hard work. That's not easy. But when you can pick your own vegetables, when you can make food for yourself, family, and friends out of things that you actually created, there's nothing better. That is the best tomato you'll ever eat that you grew yourself. Seriously. Why do you think we do that? Why do we seek the comfort so quickly?
Probably because comfort was not vastly available for 99.9% of human history. So I think that nature does go for the easiest route. That's whatever the path of least resistance is where the water flows, So I think that it makes sense for our attention to go to what's easiest, what's the simplest answer, what's the, you know what I mean? But we've reached the point, like you were saying, where those things are no longer beneficial to us. It's amazing. It's all of technology and all of everything is amazing. Like you and I wouldn't be able to talk to each other from our houses right now without it. And we wouldn't be able to talk to other people and get this message that you have out there without all of those comforts. People wouldn't be able to listen to this podcast in their car, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the thing is, when you're always reaching for comfort and comfort is so vastly available, then very quickly you're gonna, waterways go downhill. They go towards the easiest, simplest solution. And if it stops, if all of that is just the bottom of this hill, and that's it, that's all comfort is right here, then that water that was once moving is going to stay there and stay stagnant and then get disgusting. and that's what it is. You know what I mean? There's so much, we're all at the bottom of the hill. Mm-hmm. We're all at the bottom of the hill and there's nowhere else to go because all of the comfort is around us. Mm-hmm. And so it's easy. It's just easy. And it's human nature to find what's easier. It's to find what's easier, to find what's better. There's a reason that once we figured out how to make dwellings, we lived inside instead of outside. And there was a reason why once we realized that, we could grow crops and have a somewhat predictable, have a somewhat predictable yield of corn every year. It was easier. So
yeah,
that's the end of that.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And I think that makes a lot of sense. So my challenge to you folks is to challenge that yourself. Fight the nature, right? That the easiest is not the best. The easiest isn't going to help you. The easiest can be there for you. Because remember, we talk about balance. This is the yin and the yang. This is the balance of your life. You can go out and have a really good time and enjoy yourself when you need to, and have an ice cream sundae, have a cheeseburger, enjoy the French fries. For God's sake, get good French fries. Don't get shitty fries. But make that a balance point, that you've made good decisions to get to the point where that's a earned position, right? That's an earned reward. Make the choices for yourself physically so that you can enjoy some downtime. When you get done a long day of work, you can sit down and relax and spend quality time with loved ones. Don't choose the comfort because it's easier. Choose the comfort because you've earned it. But choose the discomfort because it's good for you. Choose the discomfort because of what you get out of it. Choose the hard. Choose your hard, like we've talked about before. Choose the steps that are not easy, that are going to get you further. They're going to get you past where you are currently. Because the truth is, folks, the name of the business is Thrive, because you deserve to thrive. You don't want to just survive this life. You don't want to just make it through, do you? Is that how you want to finish your life? Look back and go, wow, I made it through. You want to achieve things. You deserve it. Your body is capable of amazing things. And we have shortchanged it by teaching it that it is easier to put on yoga pants and eat bonbons and sit on the couch and order French fries from online, Grubhub. I'm not dissing food deliveries, but come on. Providing people a job is a good thing, but making it easy for us to get fatter and unhealthier and lazier is not a good thing. You deserve to live an amazing life. And unless you choose a couple things on a regular basis that are a little uncomfortable to you right now, you're never going to see what you're truly capable of. And you really do deserve that. Folks, that's all we got for you today. Ben and I really, truly appreciate you being a part of the podcast, whether you chime in, whether you watch in person live, or you're listening to the recorded version. Whatever you do, thank you so much for being a part of it. We appreciate you. If you have any questions related to your health and fitness, reach out. I'm here for you. ThriveTrainingTeam.com. And the offer stands. Jump on the website. Shoot me an email. If where you are uncomfortable in your life and you are uncomfortable in your health and your fitness, your first session's on me. I promise you, you won't think about all that bullshit that's rambling around in your head while you're working out. I promise you, it can be better. Have a great and healthy day, folks. We'll talk to you soon.
For more information, tips, and workouts of the day, check out ThriveTrainingTeam.com.